Mlango we're blessed. Our representative from the African Bible Leadership Initiative, leaders from the different Bible societies. I see my family from Eswatini. Please stand up. These people hosted me and made me feel very special. Please stand up so I can recognize you. Yeah. Thank you so much. That's the warmest people that you will ever meet. The leadership of the Bible Society of Uganda. Let's give them a big hand clap, everybody. I've seen the funkiest CEO in the world. We have our educators today, our dignified guests and students, the fourth estate, the journalists. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Good afternoon. Yes, that's the energy I want. So today, the topic talks about walking. Sorry, let me get my paper there. Yes. So today is about straining forward. And I'll say about the bigger vision of the biblical vision for mentorship. And today's scripture is taken from, just allow me, Philippians 3:13, which says, "Brethren, I count not myself to have apprehended." Let me speak in your language. I have not arrived yet. You know arriving? Yes. I have not arrived. But this one thing I do, forgetting those things which are behind and reaching forth to those things that are before. Before means in front. If you use this Bible. Now, today we are talking about striving forward. When you are in a mentorship relationship and you are being mentored, how many people are in a mentorship relationship? Who has a mentor here? Nobody has a mentor here. Yes? I have a mentor here. Dr. Girma, please stand up with my mentor. Give him a big hand clap. He's from the Bible Society of the UK. That's my mentor. Where are my mentees? They're here. Please stand up. My mentees, anyone I've mentored? Yeah. So, each of you has to have somebody that is mentoring you. Each of you has to have somebody that you're mentoring. Yes? And we're all on a journey. But Paul says we should forget the things of the past. Your achievements, your titles, because it is time to strive for the things ahead. What am I talking about? Every time I read the Bible, there's a scripture, for instance, in Proverbs 16:3, which says, "Commit your work to the Lord, and your plans will be established." Another one says, "Do not be slothful," which is lazy. "Be fervent in spirit and serve the Lord." Another one talks about God establishing the work of your hands. What's the common denominator here? The work of your, yes? So Christ is telling us to do the work. And whatever your work is whatever you have before you. When Moses went before the burning bush, God asked him, "What do you have in your hand?" What do you have in your hands today? Yes? I want to thank the musicians. Thank you so much for leading us in worship. It was wonderful. But I also wanted to show you that Uganda is it's in the palm of these young people. Is it in the palm of your hands, young people? Yes. Yes. Who rules the world now? Yes, it's you. If you don't believe it, 50% of Africa's population is under Bible societies for putting this together. So what's the biblical vision for mentorship? I believe that we need to just look at all the big people that we've known about. The first person that I see in a mentorship relationship for me is Eve. Who was her mentor? Yes? Anyone? Who was her mentor? We're in the Garden of Eden. Who's mentoring Eve? Who? You know what a mentor does for you? A mentor defines the law, interprets it, makes you question things about yourself, asks you, did God really say? You know? Makes you question the things in your mind. So just as we have good mentors, you can also have bad mentors. And mentors are powerful. Mentors will either make you or break you. Do you understand what I mean? So we see the first mentorship relationship ending up in us losing the Garden of Eden. Then we have another mentorship relationship. We have two young men, and one is jealous of the other. Who's that? Cain. In that Bible, I did not hear God speaking to Cain. Did you read it anywhere? God speaking to Abel. Did you see God speaking to Abel in the Bible? Have you seen it anywhere? But God was speaking to Cain. So sometimes you can be under a mentorship relationship when you're completely dead. Do we understand? Are we together? You know, I'm jealous now of the musicians. I want that energy. Ask your neighbor, are you dead? Are we mentoring a stone? Because God took his time and said, Cain, sin is knocking at your door. It desires to have you, but you must master it. Do you understand? That is a mentoring relationship. And God is warning him about his envy for his brother. But if you're mentoring a stone, nothing connects. The next relationship, which I find amazing, is between God and Abraham. This man that did not know God, but had a voice that said, get up and go, and leave your home. We see other mentorship relationships, but what is common in these relationships? The first thing I see is friendship. Friendship. They say Abraham was God's friend. I cannot mentor you unless you like me, and I like you. If I don't like being in your presence, then how are you going to influence me? When I was a young girl, I had a mentor who didn't know I existed. This mentor was called Julie Andrews. Do you know Julie Andrews? Okay, this generation doesn't. There's a movie called Sound of Music. Did you watch it? Yes. So, at home, I was a lot of trouble. And there was a song where they would say, who can solve a problem like Maria? And they would put Pheona. So I decided, after all, this woman's life, I am happy ever after, right? She marries a captain, she has 7 children that can sing. This is Maria, she's my mentor. I actually wanted to be a nun because of Maria. Yes, sister? This was fun. But what I want to say is there's so many influences in your life right now that are unconscious. When we saw the Dixon here, yes? Give it up for the Dixon, everyone. The Dixon moved you from there to there. Do you know what that is? That is mentorship. He could actually move you. There's a story of the Pied Piper. This man where did they end up? In the water. Do you understand? So mentorship can be used for good or for bad. But the people that are being mentored have to choose to listen. The parents who wanted to save their children from that Pied Piper had to block the children. Yes. So today I'm here to ask you, what are you hearing? What are you listening to? Who is speaking into your life? That's your Pied Piper. Do you understand? You sit there and you judge Jay-Z and Beyonce and you judge them, but you sing their music, you know their lives, you follow them, you dress like them, and you don't want to end up like them. I'm giving an example of mentors. Do you know them? Should I get someone more? Justin Bieber? Is that more your age? You're there judging him because he has pink hair. But it's because your school doesn't allow you. Otherwise, you also have a pink hair. But my question is deeper than what they're doing. Who feeds you? What do you feed on? What does your soul, your mind feed on? And that's where we're going here. What's your identity? In Africa, and I'm telling you young people right now, I'm not talking to the seniors, I hope they will forgive me. In Africa today, Africa is the only continent left with mineral resources of the nature and volumes that we have. It's the only continent with the youngest population in the world. It's the continent that has more languages than any other in the world. It's the continent that has fertile soils, trees, it has all the environment, all the climates in the world. They're all in Africa. Starting with Mediterranean from up there, up to down south in South Africa. South Africans, oh yeah? Is there anyone from North Africa here? Yes. So we have the richest continent. We have the richest. When we say factors of production, I want you now to shout answers. What are the factors of production? Land, capital, pardon? Labor, no, the next one. Capital, land, labor, what else? Pardon? Entrepreneurship. Yes, give it up for you guys, you're very clever. So, Africa has all those. It has land, it has labor. If you think it doesn't have capital, you should see the amount of foreign direct investment, the money that all the other continents are pouring in Africa. We're now a target of money for capital. So we have capital, we have entrepreneurial skills. Actually, Uganda is one of the most entrepreneurial countries in the world. But do you know what happened? Our companies die within the first year. Our leaders are corrupt. Our hospitals don't work. It's because of who we are listening to. Do you understand? Who is feeding you? We have a head boy here, head girl. Do you have elections? Do they give logistics? Oh yeah. You hear that, parents? My primary school daughter was very angry with her people that someone she had voted for to be head girl had promised them pizza. And when she won, they did not get pizza. The ethical question we're dealing with in our government starts here. Do we understand, young people, that if you ask for pizza, that is why the policeman is asking your father for a bribe when he catches him wrong on the traffic light? Do you understand? Gamba chiva mumbe. It starts with are you listening to? What is your identity? So Africa has all these things. We have all the factors of production, and the only thing that's lacking is leadership. Look at your neighbor and say, we need leadership. Okay, yeah, we have leaders, don't we? We have leaders. Look at your neighbor and say, we need ethical leadership. We need transparent leadership. And now I'm going to bully this side. What's up? Hello? Hi? Okay, who ate your cookies? Hello? Look at your neighbor, the guys in green, and say we need transparent, ethical, accountable leadership. Yes. So in order to do this, we need to know what is my purpose. What is your purpose? We said it begins with us, right? President Obama said, be the change you want to see. Tell your neighbor, be the change you want to see. Be the change you want to see. Are you tired? No. Are you annoyed? No. Okay, now let me ask you a question. Who is tired of corrupt people getting good jobs? Who's tired like me? Who's tired of criminals being so rich? Who's tired? Who's tired? Who's tired? Look at your neighbor and say, do something about it. Yes. We are called to a unique purpose. And if you don't know your purpose, those people you're listening to will give it to you. Eve was in a beautiful garden, but she was just wandering around, idle and disorderly. Yes? And then the devil asked her a question. And she wavered. She didn't know her purpose. I always tell people that they should forgive Eve, because the instructions went to who? Who did God tell not to eat that fruit? He said Adam. So up to this day, we are not sure whether Adam passed on the message correctly. So please, you guys, do not worship the God of Pheona. Do you understand? You need to have a direct connection. Otherwise, the devil will lie to you. And do you know what happened when Jesus died? What happened when Jesus died? A curtain tore. You know that story? Why did it tear? These are my biscuits. Now I want the other ones. Hi guys. Why did the curtain tear? Anyone? Just shout the answer. Say for direct access. Say for? Tell your neighbor direct access. Direct access. Why should Pastor, our CEO, why should he be the one to tell you what God said when you have his word? So we want to look for our purpose. We look at young men. Now I'm looking at youth. We see Daniel. Daniel and his brothers are in a kingdom where they are slaves. You know when you are a slave? Okay, now let me talk to my students here. Which school is this again? St. Cyprian. What did you have for lunch yesterday? Right, son? I am fired. What did you have for lunch yesterday, guys? Did anyone have kosher and beans for lunch yesterday? You had coffee. I don't relate with your schools. I can tell you when I was in school, you get kosher and beans. So if someone took you for a conference like this one, and there was rice and meat, there would be a scramble, like the scramble for Africa. Am I right? Yeah. Do you relate? Yeah. Now we're talking. So, when you come to the table and you are Daniel, and they put a spread before you of pork, I don't know what else, all those things that you eat. How many of you would say, this is unclean food, I'm former slave, right? Did the wicked prosper? Do you know what happened to the wicked in Daniel's time? The lions ate them. You remember? But did they set traps for him? They set traps for him. They set traps for him. Gentlemen, you're not answering. I'm asking rhetorical questions. I'm sorry this has turned into a Bible study. But what I'm trying to emphasize here is the wicked were prospering in Daniel's time. There was a Computer Misuse Act where they said you should not worship any other god. You should stop praying 5 times a day. Daniel used to go to the roof of his house and pray 5 times a day. He ended up in a lion's den because of it. Yes? But who ended up number 2 in the kingdom? Daniel. Let's look at Joseph. Joseph. Potiphar's wife wanted something. And he said no. They said there's no good deed that goes unpunished, right? Is that a saying? No good deed goes unpunished. So he avoided fornication and he ended up in, where did he end up? And it looked like the wicked were prospering. Do you know what happened? He ended up as the highest man in the land. So, if it's difficult, if it's a difficult time, tell your neighbor that time is right. This is opportunity. If I hold on, I will make it. Gideon told God, I am too young. And God told him, I don't want to hear. Gideon, God gave him so many tests. He said, we shall take the men who drink while standing up. Then he changed even those ones. Until Gideon had to face 10,000 soldiers with only 300 men. But do you know what happened? He got victory. He got what? Again, because of relationship. So we have to understand that you need relationship for mentorship. But before you get any relationship with anyone else here, you need to have that firm, direct access with your God. Because these mentors of yours are human. Do you understand? So when you're walking with your, have you ever crossed the road with your father? Yes. Then he picks his phone and he forgets about you and he's about to cross the road. Even if you're the child, you can pull him back, can't you? Can't you? So even a mentee can pull their mentor back. But do you think you can pull him back if you have no direct access? You need direct access. So you need to know your purpose. Forgive my spelling. There is something, a leadership guru called John Maxwell talks about the 10,000 hour rule. I've told you that the Bible is full of God's promises to bless the work of your hands. So you have to work. You've discovered your purpose. You said, I am here. What's your purpose? Who wants to share one purpose? Anyone? Anybody? What's your purpose? Let me ask Bishop and put him on the spot.
My purpose as here or in life. Well, I'm here that I may be able to engage with the young people about mentorship and about the future. But the mentorship should be based on the model of the Bible. That's my purpose.
Please give him a big hand clap. So if Bishop knows that that is his purpose, in order for him to be an expert in that purpose, he has to commit 10,000 hours to that purpose. Do we understand? Bishop, how many years have you been in the clergy? Can I ask? 32 years. Can you give us a hand? When I do my mathematics, 10,000 hours convert into 10 years of about 5-hour days. Yes? So Bishop has done 10,000 hours 3 times. Give him a big hand clap. You need to know your purpose so that you can be focused and contribute to your 10,000 rule every day. How do you do that? You have to walk your talk. Please read these words. Can you read them? You can't see, okay, my active class. Okay, faithful, available, teachable. Say faithful, available, teachable. Are you seeing these words? So I'm telling you now, when I die, I want my little tombstone to have only those 3 words. Have you heard? I'm leaving my what? My purpose. You need to know your purpose. What shall you remember when you leave here? If you want to be available, you need to be there. Tell your neighbor, you need to have time. That means you have to take away the things that steal your time. Ask your neighbor, what steals your time? Do you ever look up from your social media and realize a whole day has gone by and you haven't done homework? Do you? Do you ever sit in your dormitory and gossip and forget that prep began already? Yes? Someone has said? Yes, you relate. What are those things that take away your time? You need time to be available to the right things. So manage your time. The second thing is give thanks. Tell your neighbor, give thanks. I liked what Pastor here gave us, the last song. I will never forget. Sidiera Vida, right? Sing it again. Thank you very much. So for those of you from the rest of Africa, it means I will never forget what the Lord has done for me. In Deuteronomy 7, it says, do not forget how far He has brought you. When you get into the land of wealth, when Daniel got onto that dining table and there was a spread, he did not forget. Give thanks. Always go back and remember where you came from. It will keep you humble. It will keep you authentic. As a 13, 16-year-old, I was in Mount St. Mary's, Namagunga. They're not here. Oh, and by the way, there was serious persecution. You should give thanks for your schools right now. Give thanks for your schools. Some of my classmates were expelled for being born again. You understand that? So you had to hide your Christian literature. There was no service allowed at some point. And your faith was your faith. You had to use your direct access. It was not popular to be born again. So I used to write my testimonies down. Write your testimony. Teach your lessons. As you mentor, you need to mentor others. As your mentor, yes? What is a swamp? Now we're in geography. What's a swamp? It's what? A waterlogged area. So where do mosquitoes breed? Where do mosquitoes breed? the river of life. Jesus is using the bishop to pour himself into, what's your name? Into Eve's life. Are you going to be a swamp? Are you going to be stagnant water so that mosquitoes can breed? Or are you going to be springs of life? I love this place. So if Jesus gave you somebody to bring you to him, you need to also create 12 more. Do you understand? That's the last thing he said when he was going up. He said, go out into the world and make disciples of men. So the last thing is be teachable. Why is this important? You're being mentored, you know your purpose, you're being faithful to it, but be teachable. Do you know what that means? You have to be like an amoeba. Now I'm in biology. What are the characteristics of an amoeba? Anybody there? This class here is very quiet. Amoeba? Do you know an amoeba? Have you heard of it? Okay, what are the characteristics?
An amoeba has a pseudopodia that it uses for moving and for engulfing the organisms that it feeds on.
Engulfing?
Yeah.
There's another characteristic it has.
That's another one.
Does it have a head?
No, it's shapeless. It changes shape according to the